Did you know that one of the most famous poems in the English language was never actually finished? It was born from a dream, interrupted by a knock at the door, and left as a tantalizing fragment of a lost world. Today we journey into that dream, into the heart of a legend built by a god king Xanadu. Our story begins not with a blueprint, but with a decree. In the vast expanse of his empire, Kublai Khan, the grandson of Genghis Khan, didn't just order a palace to be built. He commanded a pleasure dome to rise from the earth, as if by magic. In a place called Xanadu, he decreed a sacred space, a microcosm of the world he ruled, a paradise on earth. The poem tells us that this wasn't just any construction project. It began with the land itself being shaped by a will greater than mortal man. A sacred river, the Alf, was summoned. It didn't gently meander, burst forth, carving its way through caverns measureless to man. Imagine a subterranean world, vast and dark, a place where time itself seemed to stand still. This river, born from a powerful decree, plunged through this darkness, rushing toward a sunless sea, an ocean of oblivion at the world's end. This was a place of dramatic contrasts. On the surface, Xanadu was a utopia. 10 miles of fertile ground were enclosed by towering walls and fortified towers. The land within was a vibrant tapestry of bright gardens where fragrant and scent-bearing trees blossomed. Ancient forests as old as the hills they stood upon offered shade and mystery. It was a perfectly manicured Eden, a testament to the Khan's power to command nature and create beauty. But paradise often holds a dark secret. Beneath this idyllic surface, the earth was not at peace. The poem describes a chasm, a deep, romantic rift cutting across a green hill covered in cedar trees. This wasn't just a geographical feature. It was described as a savage place, both holy and enchanted. It was as if a woman was wailing for her demon lover, a place of raw, untamed energy. The ground itself seemed alive, breathing in fast, thick pants. It was from this violent, primal place that the true power of Xanadu would erupt. From this chasm, a mighty fountain was forced into existence. With ceaseless turmoil, it burst forth, hurling huge fragments of rock into the air. Like hail or chaffy grain being threshed from the ground, these dancing rocks were flung up with the sacred river itself, a moment of chaotic, explosive creation. The river, born in violence, then meandered for 5 miles through wood and dale before reaching the same caverns of eternal night and sinking once more into the lifeless ocean. It was in the midst of this tumult, the roar of the river, the eruption of the fountain, that Kublai Khan heard something more. He heard ancestral voices, prophecies of war. Even in his perfect paradise, the echoes of his empire's violent past and future conflicts could not be silenced. It's a powerful reminder that even the most powerful rulers are haunted by the shadows of war and the burdens of their legacy. And so we see the final image of Xanadu, a perfect synthesis of these opposing forces. A sunny pleasure dome, a marvel of architecture and light, but with caves of ice beneath it. A floating shadow of the dome could be seen on the waves of the river, where the mingled measure of the fountain's roar and the cave's silence could be heard. It was a miracle of rare device. This sunny dome with caves of ice, a place where light and dark, creation and destruction, pleasure and danger, all existed in a delicate, impossible balance. The dream, however, takes another turn. The poet, the storyteller himself, enters the narrative. He recalls a vision he once had of a damsel with a dulcimer, an Abyssinian maid. She was playing her instrument and singing of Mount Abora. He feels an intense longing, believing that if he could only revive her symphony and song within him, it would bring him such deep delight that he could build Xanadu himself. But this would not be a dome of stone and mortar. He would build it in the air. A phantom Xanadu, constructed from music, poetry, and pure imagination. If he could achieve this act of ultimate creation, he imagines the reaction of others. They would see him with awe and holy dread. They would cry, "Beware, beware," because his eyes would be flashing, his hair floating on the wind. Why? Because he has tasted the divine, is fed on honeydew, and drunk the milk of paradise. He has been touched by the same supernatural power that birthed Xanadu. He has become something more than human, a creator whose power is both wondrous and terrifying. The poet who can conjure a world from words is a force to be reckoned with, a figure of magic and potential madness, and that is where the dream ends. The person from Porlock knocks on the door, the vision shatters, and we are left with this magnificent fragment. Xanadu remains a symbol of the ultimate creative act, a paradise built from power, dreams, and the untamed forces of nature and the human mind. It reminds us that our greatest creations are often born from the clash of opposites, and that the line between genius and madness, between a god and a dreamer, is thinner than we think. What do you think Xanadu represents? It's a real place, a state of mind, or the power of art itself? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for journeying into the dream with us today. If you enjoyed this exploration, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more dives into the world's greatest legends.